Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. You can make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn
world. You're now listening to the Brothers of the Five. At shooting guard, it's your boy, Killer Cam. At small forward, it's Reggie Love. At point guard, C Major. At power forward, Al B. And at center, Mr. Noise, Lloyd Spence. And now, the Brothers of the Five.
Shout out to Unc. We in here one more time for the Five. Down the man, but we still got enough to make it happen. Do what it do, as they say. And I'm excited. I don't know if y'all are excited, but I'm excited. Listen, I hate and love a good list. I do.
You should have married my wife.
Wow, that escalated quickly. I didn't see that. I did not see that coming. Why should I have married your wife? Because she likes giving you lists?
She likes lists too, brother. Y'all
would agree for each other. Okay. I got you. Well, listen, tonight we're going to have some fun because these, while everybody's in get their team ready mode, or we got not pennant races, but the regular season in baseball going. This is kind of the lull period of college or sports period. So we decided to jazz it up for the next couple of weeks. So we got our top 5 list all-time show. We ready just get into some fun debate. And we require you to bring it here on the 5. You got to bring your A game. So we're going to debate these lists and see how it turns out. We'll have a set of things. We'll try to get as far as we can get tonight, but we're not going to rush the debate process because if people got questionable lists, we gotta see what that's all about. So with that being said, I'm excited to see my guys, the incomparable Killer Cam over there, giving us I like that with the pad. I like that. The white.
That's the only way I cannot cuss.
Everybody say you could. You know what? You ain't got to take it behind the curtain completely. I say you could just, we want to monetize at some point. All right. That's Killer Cam.
There's a lot of, there's some. Howard Stern made more money.
Let me just say this.
I'm just saying, Cousins, at least we need to think about strippers and midgets. I don't know.
I was gonna say tonight might not be the night to enforce a cuss rule because y'all might be some bullshit.
I don't think James Harden is on nobody list. We good.
Oh, okay, then we good. We good.
Yeah.
That's the White Market Smart, Jesse Wright, and of course that's our producer and brother high on championship love, Chad Major, right there. Good to see Chad back in the mix.
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh, I almost forgot. The incomparable Reggie Love.
There go my boy. Football season about to start.
I know.
Wearing a love shirt, on brand and everything.
Yeah, you know, hey, you know how I do it, man. It's marketing myself. Not me quit.
That's
what's up.
Like love, I would market it everywhere.
What's up, gentlemen? How are y'all?
Man, it's been a strange 7 days for your boy. So, I mean, the boy caught COVID, right? During the show and tested after, and I've been dealing with COVID. Yeah, I've been dealing with COVID. Yeah.
He done had that Coco 19 since the last show.
Yeah. Oh, really? You know, I had it a month and a half ago. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, I had it about a month. Was it about early June? It was early.
Yeah, about early June. Yeah,
right after Harley's birthday party.
Right after the birthday. Exactly.
Yeah. I tested after the show, and the rest is history.
I told you about being on live stream with Cam. You know, you can get that. You can get it from a live stream now.
Yeah, we may have to require you to wear your mask.
Hey, Reggie, I think you and I have different definitions of a live stream.
Okay. Tell me what you mean. Talk to me.
Oh, I can't. Look, Daddy made this a PG show. Like
I didn't make it a PG show. I just said I didn't make it a PG show. I just said, 13. We'll make it 13. How about that? We'll make it 13. I have 13 at the end. All right. Let's jump right in. We coming in hot right from the beginning. Everybody always talks about you can't compare eras, and there's some truth to that, I think. But what we did is 20 years in one era, one grouping, and another 20 years in another grouping. So your top 5 NBA players in the 80s and 90s is where we starting the show tonight. Your top 5 NBA players from the 80s and the 90s.
Can I just say one thing before we start?
Absolutely.
Looking at the 80s, the 90s, we're going to get to the 2000s.
Right.
It is sickening, disgusting how many Lakers players have to be on all 3 lists.
I mean, but it's true though. It's true. It's hard to deny.
And I hate to say it, I was going to start number 1 because my mind goes to my top first player of the 80s, and of course I'm going to say Kareem right off the bat.
Okay.
Okay. And you said that why you said it's sickening about the Lakers, and that's the first player that popped in my mind.
I mean, if Kareem, Michael, and Worthy aren't all in the conversation, right? Like, then you throw in a Jordan and a Bird and see what happens, right? Then you got to knock somebody out. Maybe Worthy's the first one to go, but man, it's sick. It's going to happen with all 3 eras.
Yeah. What's funny about the 80s, 90s list? It kind of was.
No, let me hear a Laker fan tell me what's funny about the 80s and 90s.
No, but it's kind of a weird listing because it honestly is dominated by 2 teams, 80s and 90s. And, in the 80s you go Lakers, in the 90s you go Bulls. And so
But But where do you see some of these players, though? I see what you're saying, but some of these players kind of transition into the 2000s. Do we call Shaq a 90s player?
See, I wouldn't. I don't have him. I wouldn't have him. I didn't have him on my 90s on my 80s 90s list.
You got to think about prime. Most years of their prime were in which decade, right? And if we're splitting hairs, then we'll just decide we got to throw them in one or the other, right? And they got to compete against those people. But
I agree. Well, who would like to bravely go first, or should I kick this off? I can kick it off if you guys.
I mean, do we?
No, I don't want to hear your list. I know what your list is.
Are we going
to
say?
Really don't.
No, top 5. Just top 5.
Top 5, and you can put them in order or no particular order, however you want to do it. Everybody scared? Everybody
No,
else.
I'll go.
I'm looking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm thinking
Okay.
of 5. Like if I do my 5, I'm gonna say point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. and center.
Yeah, you can do your list however you want. Okay. So go ahead, Jesse. You start it off.
Reggie, you kill me.
No, I'm just saying everybody do it different though.
Okay.
Everybody does it differently. Everybody does it
Okay,
differently. I like
then Duncan and Shaq are going to both be off the 2000s list for you, but one of them is going to miss that list, but that's okay.
It's lit.
We got.
It's his list.
I got Kareem
Okay.
at number 1, and I'm going to prioritize him because I think that's important.
Right.
I think
Okay.
if we all agree X player is untouchable in that 5, then we can't talk about them anymore. We move on, right? And it's the fringe, right? It's the 4 or 5 players that maybe there's a discussion about. But for me, the top 4 I think are locks for me.
Okay.
But now what era are you putting Jordan in? So maybe that might come into play. But I'm going to say it's Kareem, it's Magic, it's Jordan, it's Bird. That's top 4.
Okay.
And then what you want to do with 5th, I think, is probably an open discussion. For me, I'm going to have to say Isaiah, but I could see Moses Malone, right, getting in there. I definitely think there's a conversation to be had for Julius Erving, or Worthy, or even, the Rockets won their ships in the 90s, right? But
They did.
you can't tell me Hakeem didn't play in the 80s.
Right.
So, but those are my top 5. It would be
You mentioned
Kareem,
10 people.
Jordan, and Magic,
All right.
And
Green
Bird.
Magic, Bird. Right.
and I'm going to go with Isaiah for number 5.
You know what I said? Okay. Okay. All right. That's
I'll play whoever you put on the court. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, listen, you have a good chance there. Anybody got any issues with Jesse's list?
I don't have any issues with it. My last spot though, I had Moses Malone in my 5. So
Okay, so you have the exact same list, but you have Moses Malone. Okay, interesting. Okay, all right. Cam, what you do?
Hey, by the way, Malone did more with less. Right?
No argument here.
He took a 500 team all the way to the finals. And,
4-4-4.
And what happened in 81? I forgot. Oh, Lakers lost. And so, I'm just
Can't win them all.
I'm just saying.
Cam, what you doing?
You went yet? Did Chad go? Everybody else went?
yeah, I went.
Are you asking to go last? Is that what you saying?
No, he's saying he hasn't been paying attention.
I went. Yes, I went.
Chad has the same list as Jesse. Just he changed Isaiah to Moses Malone.
I'm gonna go. Same thing, same list. Of course, Kareem. I'm definitely going Kareem. Magic, MJ. I will put Jordan in front of. I'll put Jordan in front of Magic, but they right there.
Oh,
And then I got Bird. Bird could probably be higher on this list if he didn't have back issues.
I agree.
But
I also think Magic is higher than Jordan for the 80s portion of this list.
Right.
But in total, Jordan's
Well,
higher than that.
if we're just saying the 80s and 90s together, not in order from 80 to
We
90,
said 80s and 90s together.
if we're doing that, I would put Kareem and Jordan. But it is what it is.
Okay.
I wanted to put Worthy at 5, and I felt like, just want to be honest with you guys, I felt like I was being a little biased by doing that. So I did go with Isaiah.
Oh wow.
Well, by the way, I separated the 80s from the 90s. My list was the 80s.
Okay. So you didn't look at them from the 90s at all.
No, because the word David Robinson didn't come out of my mouth.
And he shouldn't.
Wow.
You know, and here's another player. If we put some rings on him, we'll be talking about Charles Barkley right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be talking about Karl Malone over Charles Barkley if we're putting rings on somebody, but
You think so?
I would say more Charles than because for the same reason that you said with Moses. That's why I would say Charles.
Did the number 3 scoring all
Did
time in
did
NBA
more
history?
with less. Did
yeah,
more
number
with
3
less.
all-time scorer in NBA history, and we're gonna.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the games and I'm saying he did more with less. Far more with far less.
And see, here's another issue about when you picking this team and players. It's so hard. Let's be honest, it's so hard because now you look at statistic versus what they've done with the team, and you know it's so much to go. Or you throw championship rings involved with it. It's so hard. But if I'm gonna go with those same 4, I'm gonna go with Kareem, Jordan. Actually, I'm gonna go half and half. I'm really not gonna say 1-2 because you can go 1-2 either way with Kareem and Jordan. To me, my opinion. It's just my opinion. And I'm gonna go with Bird and who did I say?
I know who Reggie last guy is. I can tell you that right now.
Who was that? Who's my last guy?
It's the Iceman. We know this.
In the 80s, though?
Yeah, I would say that, but you know who I really think about my last guy was, you know, and I'm being a little biased too. I think of Hakeem Olajuwon. I think of so many other players that, gosh, man, that I mean, you think even Worthy. You think of we think of Bernard King before the injury. So you know, it's such a. So I'm gonna go with the same 4. Man,
It's tough.
it's tough.
That 5th one is always tough.
That's the 5th one is going to be, woo. And look, I had to pull them up. There's so many on this list. I mean, gosh. Isaiah. I'm starting to think about titles. Isaiah got 2. Hakeem got 2.
He got 2.
Don't be tricked by the titles.
I know. I guess that's another thing. And do we? I even think about Kevin McHale. Shoot.
Yeah, real talk.
I'm just thinking so many great players, and you tell
So
me
many.
one.
That's the only reason Malone can't make the list.
Title.
No, 3.
What's
You
that?
know what I mean? You already got Kareem and Magic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Give me Hakeem. And I really don't believe that. Hakeem.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
I'll go ahead and be the first controversial list.
I can
of
feel
the
this
night.
coming already.
I'll be the first controversial list of the night.
Dr. J.
Kareem did not make my list. Y'all can leave if you want to. Kareem did not make my list because we said 80s and 90s. So you have to ask myself, in the 80s and 90s, because Kareem was on the backside in the 80s.
When he retired,
He was.
when did Kareem retire?
What did he average in the 80s? I do the homework for you.
Yeah, do the homework for me.
26.6.
In the 80s? And how many rebounds and how many assists?
He was amazing. Listen, we're not going to sit here and act like Kareem is not amazing. Kareem is absolutely amazing.
We talk about the back end of his
He had
career.
8.9 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. Played
How many
10 years
assists,
in the
Chad?
Listen,
league.
we're not going to sit here and act like Kareem's not
How many
amazing.
assists, Chad?
I didn't put down write down the assists.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it was Magic. It was Michael. It was Larry Bird. And it was Hakeem Olajuwon.
This
That
is
made
not
it.
right. And this is not fair. But okay.
See, I did like Jesse did. I did the 80s and then the 90s. And then
But I because one of the things that happens when you focus just solely on the 80s, then you forget how good those players and how dominant those players were in the 90s. And so it's amazing to me, of all the people that we have listed, we've listed Isaiah, we've listed Malone, we've listed Bernard King got on somebody's list. George Gervin made. No, I haven't heard anybody say. And by the way, not one of my
Well,
favorites.
nobody said George Gervin.
He just said the Iceman. Who do you think the Iceman is?
I mean, Iceman was. I mean, you think about the 80s.
Oh man, here we go.
Now, I'm gonna tell you.
I'm just saying. Hey, you want to call my turn? I'm just saying nobody said George Gervin. That's all.
Said the Iceman. Is that okay? I said the Iceman.
Technically.
Okay, all right. I replaced Kareem with Scottie Pippen.
Oh man, this is why. No mind. I feel like this is a setup.
It's not a setup. What's the setup?
I feel like y'all don't want me part of the 5, and you trying to make me cuss to get me kicked off.
You can cuss all you want. This is we lift the cuss ban. Cuss all you want.
Okay, Lloyd, I think that's dumber than you being a Giants fan.
Well, I would expect that from somebody who follows Tom Brady.
All the jewelry.
Oh my goodness!
Great system. I appreciate the Patriots. Shout out to Belichick.
You can appreciate the 2 championships we gave you too.
We'll deal. Yeah. No. We snatched those from your throat. I just want to respect the 90s, and I feel like that's a way to do it.
So I looked at it this way. I ranked my top 5, and I thought about it both ways because I wasn't sure how the question was meant. But when I ranked my top 5 in the 80s, right, then the next step for me to get to that 80s or 90s was to say, all right, now who in the 90s is going to knock out somebody from the 80s?
That's a good way to do it.
Because you didn't do enough in the 80s to make my list, right? But maybe you had 10 more years or whatever, right? So talk to me about now who's going to bump in there. And maybe you could make a case for Hakeem over Isaiah. I mean, Isaiah was good in a very tough physical basketball era, right? And I think that's what made him special. But Hakeem was dominant before Shaq taught us the true definition of dominance, right? And so for me, like, you can't put David in there, right? I think you got to keep Malone out because of the ships. At some point, those matter, right? They may not matter for Robert Horry, and that's not who we're talking about, but they matter for these guys. And, you know, Kareem had 5 of them, right? So it would be tough for me to take somebody in the 80s out, and that's only because I've got like Shaq in my 2000s list. You know what I'm saying? But there's not somebody in the 90s that said, like, Jordan's already on my list, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm not putting Robinson over Isaiah. Karl Malone didn't win a ship. Scotty, top 50, sure. But, you know, top 5 of a decade, like, I'm still putting and Shaq I got later on, right? So I'm still putting Isaiah. I could see the argument to put Hakeem over Isaiah if we're talking 80s and 90s collectively.
The problem I have with, I look at Hakeem and that run that he had and what it did for basketball. So that's one of the reasons why, like, listen, Kareem, undeniable, the greatest single shot ever created in the history of time is the sky hook. It's not even, and it's not debatable. Hakeem kind of shifted basketball. Like, guys are going to meet with him right now to learn what he did in the post. Right. And that's kind of how I landed there. And then the other thing with Pip became the prototype. He's like the prototype now.
Lloyd, your list is solid. You don't have to defend Hakeem.
No.
But you can't talk about Pippen versus Kareem in the same sentence. Ever.
You can.
It doesn't matter what decade. You could talk about this decade right now.
This is a debate show. I can talk about what I want.
Kareem,
but the reality is,
Kareem got put Pippen on his ass right now.
Do what?
1-on-1 right now.
Who would?
Kareem.
Drugs is a dangerous thing right about now.
That's not even realistic. at all. Like I'm
just
not
messing.
Yeah, no, it is a dangerous thing.
I don't even. Matter of fact, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see them play it. I don't want to see neither one of them play right now.
No,
It's gonna be
right
visits. It's gonna be some doctor hospital visits.
Take the heads
I
off.
see what it is. I see what it is.
My drug of choice this evening is a whiskey called
I
Brothers
see what it is.
Bond.
It looks good.
I knew we would need some Brothers Bond this evening, and I'm going to consume enough for all 5 of us to stay connected through this.
And you know what? I like that. I am a whiskey
like it.
drinker, so I like that.
I like it.
I'm here for y'all. I came prepared.
I love you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Taking one for the team. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but that
I'm
was the only.
taking,
That was the
I'm taking
only.
6 for the team, Chad.
That was the only X factor for me. It was just Kareem. When I put Kareem next to Hakeem 1-to-1.
No, it's versus Pippen.
Well,
Hakeem
for
can be
you,
on the list.
for you it's Pippen. It's for me. It's Hakeem and Kareem. And
Can I ask you a question about that then? I know we're not debating. I know we didn't come to debate. If I ask everybody on the panel who's your top 5 player of all time,
Kareem is on the list.
Kareem is on the top 3 of those lists, probably top 3. He's definitely top 5, and I know Olajuwon is not on nobody's top 5 list. So how can you say that? And we talking about the list now, but how can you say
that's
that?
what you're saying. I wouldn't say that. I have that much respect for Hakeem Olajuwon.
Roy,
Yeah,
Reggie, you said that. I mean, you said this before though. You've told me how high Kareem is on the all-time list before.
who
And
has?
now you're saying that, and now we got a lot. Is Olajuwon even top 10? Is the question.
You don't think Olajuwon is a top 10 player?
I think you can name 10 players in this world that play basketball that's better than Olajuwon. Is what I'm saying.
No,
Yes.
we had this whole conversation 2 weeks ago about Steph Curry. Did he make it? Olajuwon's name never came up. Not once from any
Well,
of us.
because we forget about guys like Olajuwon.
If we forget about them, then they weren't great enough to get on the top 5 list.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Not true at all. How many times? Listen, we're getting old. We
know.
forget.
Matter of fact,
so
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet also that in this list that we're doing and the next list we're doing, you might get your top 5 out of these two, and Olajuwon is not going to be mentioned.
Well, you definitely not going to be mentioned in the 2000 one.
Well, I'm saying if you combine the list and you put a top 5 together, say, man,
But that's
I
a
don't know.
different question.
Say, hold on,
That's a
wait.
different
I can't
question.
believe we're having this argument. I can't. I really can't.
No, because Shaq takes Olajuwon's place, bar none. Kobe
Right, and
gets
then,
on the
and,
list.
then
Right.
any list that we do as greatest of all time, top 10, number one, we know that's going to be guard heavy.
No,
Right.
it might be. We know it's going to be Laker heavy.
How can Olajuwon be there if he not even the top? He may not even be top 5 center.
For you,
Come on, Lord, stop.
I wouldn't say that.
And this is why the 5 is the 5.
That's why
Good
there you go.
debate.
He will be a top 5 center. If we went to top 5 centers of all time, he will make the top 5 center.
So we know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not even here to do that. Okay, Olajuwon
Yeah,
it is. Footwork and all. Jordan retired. He got me 2 rings.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing.
No, Reggie, you said, but no, listen, Reggie, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Olajuwon's not a top 5 center of all time. I'm going to tell you it's fringe though, because right off the bat, Kareem, Bill, Wilt, and Shaq.
Right.
So if Olajuwon makes the list, it's at 5.
Right, and that's
That's
what I'm saying.
You think
I will
Olajuwon
say
is
that David,
bothered by that?
Is he better than Ewing and Robinson?
Hell
oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
He beat
Olajuwon
you in
is-
Robinson.
But if he's that far down on the list, he can't be top 5 of all time. Then
We didn't say he was top
He
5
said
of all
89.
time. That's a different question. What we said was in the 80s and 90s, here's my top 5.
but would you say Kareem is top 5 of all time?
I didn't say Kareem was top
I'm
5
asking
of
you
all
what
time.
you say that.
No, I would not.
Oh, man, it's
2000. We're going to the 2000s now. We're going to the 2000s.
All right, 2000, same order.
Same. That's 2000.
Yeah, let's go same order.
All right, same order.
Yeah.
2000s. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Again, a ridiculously top-heavy Laker list.
But hold up, before you say LeBron, do we really say LeBron's a Laker? Because
No, I didn't say LeBron.
okay.
He wasn't a Laker. No, I didn't say
Right.
LeBron.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. That's what I'm asking because everybody.
No, but my list starts with Kobe and Shaq. That's
Yeah.
1, 2. Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
It's another top-heavy top 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
When one team which represents 30% of 3% of the league gets 40% of my top 5 right off the bat,
Yeah. I
right?
agree.
That's like an 1100% improvement, right? Or stats versus their relative place in the league. So those are my top 2.
You might as well put LBJ.
LeBron obviously
Right.
is in the top 5, not necessarily as a Laker, but as a player. And then
That's actually how I looked at LeBron too. I couldn't say he was a Heat or Cavalier. I just said he's got to be in the top 5. Then left it alone. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it came down to a couple players for me. So I got Tim, and I got Dirk, and I got KG, right?
That's 6
And
players.
then in my new guard, I've got Giannis, Durant, and Steph. All right. I'm going to take Durant off there. He doesn't have enough ships. I'm going to take Giannis off there for today. 2000s
Right.
to present. I'm taking Giannis off there for today. The body of work just isn't there yet. I'm sorry. We'll talk about the 2020s, right, when we have that discussion. And so, I mean, Dirk and Duncan, I've got to go Duncan. I love Dirk for the league. I love Dirk as a player. I love Dirk at his position, right? But I've got to pick Duncan over Dirk.
Yeah.
I have to. As an all-time great, I got to pick Duncan over Dirk. And so now I'm down to Curry
Hold up, time
and
out.
Duncan.
Time out. I'm sorry. Are you shaking
Shut
your
up talking to me, Reggie.
head? I'm just saying you shook your head. You should be saying
Because I-
yes.
Because I don't want to agree with it. I agree.
Damn it, you gotta agree with it.
He cussed.
I already lifted the cuss bed.
My bad,
Really,
Jesse. I'm
never
sorry.
looked at it.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I cussed.
My bad.
And I love KG, right? Obviously, but at the end of the day, for me, it's got to be a conversation. So if I'm already Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, right?
Yep.
And who was it? Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Duncan.
Right.
For me, for me, it's going to be Steph over Iverson. Right?
Ooh, yeah.
For me, it's going to be Steph over Iverson. So that's it. It's Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Duncan, and Curry.
And no need to ask me that question because I agree with this man right here.
Yeah, he
I
ain't
got
miss.
the same list.
He ain't miss.
Same
He
list.
ain't miss. He ain't miss at all. So yeah, I'm going with that.
So it's on you, Cam, because we 4 people got the same list. Are you the odd man out?
I am down, man.
Time?
I am.
Okay. So what you going with?
Number 1 for me is going to be Elijah One.
You know what? You ain't gotta do this.
In the 2000s.
You gotta do this. You gotta act like this.
Hey, at least he
Get
didn't
over the last question.
Hey,
at least he didn't take
He
Travis
played with Toronto in
Grady.
the 2000s.
Oh man.
It was
Hey,
tough.
y'all better be careful. I could have defended a Steve Nash comment there too. But
But the back-to-back MVP,
That he stole.
I
Shout
have
out to Shaq.
nothing to talk about.
Same 5?
I got Kobe. I got LeBron 1. Well, I guess it don't matter whatever, but I got LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan.
Hold up. Are we
Why
recording
did it
this?
hurt you so
We
bad?
record this. I just want to hear.
Steph.
It's
I didn't
recorded.
hear what he said. Who was the third person? I couldn't hear it.
It's recorded on 3 different platforms, actually.
But I didn't hear what he said. I didn't hear what
he
the
said
third person
Duncan.
was. Oh, he said Duncan. Okay.
He said Duncan.
Yeah.
And then he said Steph. He still hasn't said Shaq, which I'm a little nervous on. Are you on mute?
Are you self-muting? What are you doing?
He can't.
Because his mic is open. I'm not
You
sure
said
what-
Dirk over
He's
Shaq.
not
Tim
muted. I'm not-
Duncan, man. Tim Duncan.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, Duncan was 3.
Listen, I know that's hard to do as a Laker fan. I know that's hard to do. I
Oh,
get it.
who's 5? He didn't say 5.
Shaq, Steph.
Okay, so we all got the same list.
Yeah.
Listen, and I want to piggyback on something Jesse said. Giannis
That's
is
a lot of
coming.
rings. That's a lot of rings on this list too.
There's a lot of rings on that list. Let me
God.
say this too. Giannis is coming. Giannis is coming. I fully expect Giannis. Maybe 2
Well,
more,
see,
3 more.
If Giannis and Durant end up with like a ring apiece at the end of the day, right? And we're sitting back there looking at it. There may be players we put over them, right? Don't let Embiid get 2. Don't let Jokic get 3. Don't let you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll say this. I don't think KD gets another ring.
Depends on where he signs.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. Unless he goes to Golden State,
What if he goes to Boston for Brown?
he won't get it.
Ooh.
Hey,
Did you just say if he go to Golden State that he would not?
I said
No.
Golden State, yes.
Oh.
If you went to Golden State, yes.
Hey
But
Jimmy,
other than that, no. Nowhere else. would he
Jimmy,
go.
I need you to call Lloyd's guy.
Call
Yeah,
my guy.
we got a bet. Yeah.
Call my guy.
No, you
Oh,
give him whatever odds he wants. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So I know we're moving on, but I gotta have a quick question.
We can stay here for a minute. Go
I
ahead.
know. I just got a quick question for Jesse. I've been hearing, seeing all the trade rumors going on. I know that's just going off. How do you feel about them trade rumors with KD?
Can I answer the question? Can I answer that question for Jesse?
Yes.
We ended the show last week saying we don't care what we would do. We would anybody on this would trade for Durant right now.
That's what y'all said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Lord, stop, man.
I don't know if I would do it though. I'm in Lloyd's car though. I don't know if I would do it because you're sacrificing your future for about 4. Because from what I've heard is,
It's not the future
Brown,
though.
Jaylen Brown. I heard
You're not getting out of this trade without Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Right.
Smart.
And White. And
Picks.
No, Grant
No.
Williams.
Robert Williams was one of the things that came out.
No,
Oh, I haven't heard Robert.
No,
I haven't
that's
heard
not
Robert.
true. That is
No,
not
he's
I
true.
heard Grant. I heard Grant Williams.
That ain't
So,
true.
let me tell you worst case scenario for the Celtics.
Okay.
Worst case scenario is if they throw Smart in. Nothing else really matters. But if it's Brown, White, Grant Williams, 3 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, and you still want something else, right? That would be worst case scenario for the Celtics because and only because of Marcus Smart.
Right.
And you're talking about, oh, you only got a 4-year win. You got a 4-year fucking window. Ask Michael Jordan how many fucking ships you can win in 4 years, right? Ask Steph Curry how many ships you can win in 4 years.
Right.
And one was enough for the Anthony Davis trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've established, if you're not a top 10 pick in the NBA, and then only 50 to 70% of those are actually going to pan out into all-stars. If you're not a top 10 pick in the NBA, right? Like your 18th pick doesn't matter. Your 27th pick. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't players that get picked late that, but you got to hit, right? So like the Celtics draft the next 7-8 years, who cares?
There's
about
very few to your point, there's very few teams that have mastered the art of picking late.
Right. Now,
Right.
what I
Yeah.
would tell Brooklyn, okay, is this. You want Marcus Smart. If that's a deal breaker, and for the Celtics, I am fully committed to getting Kevin Durant.
Give me Steph Curry.
I want Simmons. Because I retain my identity. I retain my coach's identity. I retain my president's identity, right? This is who we are, who we're going to be. And Durant fits that mold, right? He's a dog, right? Both ends of the court. So if I'm going to lose Smart and Smart and White, like I'm not worried about White. White's a great 8th piece, right? But like I'm not worried about
You can replace
but if I'm gonna lose Smart, right, then you got to talk to me about Simmons because you're not sure on him. You know what I'm saying? And if we're gonna do this, like we got to make contracts work and all this stuff like that. Like put Simmons in, and if I got to throw in one more piece, like a Grant Williams or a Peyton Pritchard or whatever, fine. But talk to me about Simmons as part of the deal.
Okay.
I understand Kevin Durant being the transcendent talent that he is. I do. I get it. I get the 4-year window. What I don't get is that you just beat this team for nothing. You're fine. You don't have to do anything. And you off season got better.
It's not about beating.
Is that what Golden State said when they came off the ship and signed Kevin Durant?
They didn't come off the ship, signed Kevin Durant. They came off a loss and signed Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
they come off a finals loss.
Well, the Celtics are coming off a loss and signing Kevin Durant.
I'm gonna jump in the car with Lloyd. I have told you this, and I said it at the end of the season when they lost. I'm sticking with it. If I'm a Celtic fan, do not touch that squad because y'all are one piece, maybe a one player getting stronger, maybe being one of the dominant teams in this league in the next year.
Reggie, you said that before Durant was on the table, and you said that before we signed Brogdon and Gallinari.
But how about
Brogdon and Gallinari? Now we're replacing Brown for Durant.
So basically, what you're saying is you don't believe Jason Tatum can get better.
No,
that's all it's
saying.
No, that is what you said. By you bringing in Kevin Durant, that's what you're saying. You're saying
get better.
You're saying
can get better.
But then let him get better because Jason Tatum isn't that far away. He's not that far away.
Kevin Durant just puts you on the fast track to the championship, basically.
But y'all not finna just give up more than Brown for KD. They want more than Brown for KD.
I think you stay the course, but
I understand. Now I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying my personal opinion. I'm rocking with those young cats because they got some of them cats got some.
You should though. I can understand you doing it. We've talked about this. Not being funny. We've talked about you should because you're a Spurs fan. This is what you've done. You've homegrown people.
Right.
When you talk about the Lakers and the Celtics, we'll flip a team real quick if it means a championship.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. The Celtics don't flip teams. The last 10 years, the Celtics have built their team from,
and they have won nothing.
Jaxie talks about it all the time.
And they have won nothing.
And they won nothing.
The bus from the finals is not even cold yet.
Hey man, listen to me. They flipped the team. They got Ray Allen in there, and they got KG in there. They had an okay team. They got those two in there.
That's the only time we've ever seen them do it. In the history of the Celtics, that ain't what they do. They did it one time, it worked, and then they said, now we're going to keep growing. But what we want to do is grow our own. That's what they want to do.
The Celtics and the Lakers will do whatever it takes.
The Celtics did whatever they took one time. That's not their MO. The history says we're gonna draft, we're gonna grow, and that's what they've done. And that's they've built 16 championships out of growing our own. The only one of the championships was built on, No, I'm saying they built 16 on growing our own. One of them was built on whatever it takes, we're gonna buy it.
I'm just saying I don't ever want to hear Celtics and 16 out of your mouth in the same sentence.
Listen, man. I got there. I was gonna get there. Just calm down. But that's what I'm saying.
What you're telling me is that you have a better chance of winning with the team now versus adding Durant.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
I think you got just as good a chance.
No, stop.
That's blasphemy.
The other thing is
I've been watching the finals.
Stop. I've been watching Jaylen Brown for 5 years. And I'm telling you right now.
He's maxed out. So
he is closer to his ceiling than anybody else will know. He is more like a little fellow we know named Jeff Green than anybody else will know. He is one of maybe the best people, right? He's a deep thinker. He's considerate in his community. He really takes a step back and says, how can I be impactful, not just like showy with my charity, right? Like there are a lot of great things about Jaylen Brown, okay? Two reasons I trade him is because I've seen him play for 5-6 years. I've seen him give up on plays. I've seen him get frustrated and lag back the court. And that happened in the finals. That's happened since the first day he got here. Ime hadn't been able to fix it. Brad hadn't been able to fix it. 6 years of maturity hadn't been able to fix it. Okay? The kid's got something where he doesn't have that extra gear. He's athletic as all hell like Jeff Green, but he doesn't have that Steph Curry gear.
But he was the one of the two. He was the one that showed up in the finals.
You're talking – no, stop, Lloyd.
No, you stop. In the finals, he was the one of the two. He was the one that showed up.
You're saying Tatum can't get better?
The same way that you're saying that Brown can't get better.
What you saw from Brown is the best you're going to see from Brown.
Okay, then based on what you just said, if I'm Brooklyn, why the hell would I do that deal?
Because
this kid is maxed out. I'm not going to get any better with this kid.
Lloyd, the only conversation we're having right now is whether or not I'm smarter than the Brooklyn Nets, and that's fucking obviously a fact. So the second thing, is that you gotta think about this. It's been a problem since day one. Congestion at a position with the same skill set. Okay, moving Brown, right? Not for another forward, right? That's fine. But what they do, that isolation ball, needing to have the ball in their hands, Brown needing to drive, right? Brown's game doesn't complement Tatum's game. Durant's game and Tatum's game. Think about that for like 3 seconds.
He choked him up.
That's not a dream that I'm trying to have. That's one that you try to have. I think you're fine right where you are. You got to the finals on what you had.
God, this guy. Yeah, but they lost though. That didn't put them over the hump.
My boy, Chad.
KD would put them over the hump.
But they lost. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Of course, the Golden State guys
and
go
they lost all 3 times. What did they do?
I'm saying that's what happens.
Of course, the Golden State guy's gonna say that. He ain't trying to see y'all get better. Goodness gracious. Think about where you just landed your argument at. All right. Question 3. All right, Ray.
Is this all time?
Yeah,
yesterday, last year, fantasy. What is this?
We said all time.
All time. We did collect. We did. Okay. All right. Now I can do my research.
Yes. We'll start with Chad on this one.
All time. I'm gonna go no particular order. No particular order here. Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton. Who else did I have?
This is where it's gonna get interesting.
It is getting interesting, yes. Yeah, it is getting interesting right now. You know what? Jim Brown.
Right.
My last one. Man. My last one. Jerome Bettis.
Wow, did not see that coming. I did not see that.
Bernard King.
I did not see that coming at all.
Don't they have to be the top running back in their franchise for that to be?
I was gonna say.
Cam. Nobody saw Scottie Pippen over Kareem either, right?
Okay. You're right.
Miracles happen.
That's why he's a fifth. Because
I'll go next.
Hey, I might have a wild card in my 5th too, Chad. So let me chill.
I'll go next. Everything Chad said, I agree. Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith.
In those order?
In that order, actually, for me, was my order. But my 5th is Eric Dickerson. Yeah, my 5th is Eric Dickerson.
That was my honorable mention.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lot, but he was my 5th. He was my 5th.
That's a good honorable mention,
yeah.
Cam.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what the rest of these lists look like. All right.
Where Reggie go?
You gotta see the private chat.
I don't subscribe to that.
It's not even.
The way
It's
my
not even hard to
account
subscribe to.
and my savings account works is that my wife
Wait.
checks all of them.
I got
and
you. I got
I'm
you.
not allowed to weird internet subscriptions.
I got you. I
all
got
right. So I'm this has been a good show for me. We should take some clips. Listen, for me, because I saw them play, right? So I'm not going to do this in order because
Okay.
I understand a lot of people put Peyton number one.
I
A
did
lot
not.
of people that watched him play will put Peyton number one. Okay.
I did not.
And I know if you got to talk about stats, you got to talk about Emmett, right? But like for me, I saw Emmitt Smith, right?
Mm.
And I saw Barry Sanders play football. So because I saw them play and I knew what that meant at the time, Lloyd, you said it earlier, what somebody did in the moment for the game, right, counts. It has a factor in the decision making. Emmett and Barry for me are there. Walter's there because I trust my elders, right? And I've seen film and I've seen stats and
He should be there. He should be there.
and people tell me, so
I watched him play. He should be there.
Peyton's on my list, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some movies about my boy Jim Brown now.
Yeah.
Now, here's where 4 and 5 get tricky for me. Okay. I think Jim Brown deserves to be on the
It's my personal. It's my personal preference, man. It's my personal preference. Fly Guy. I went with personal preference on the line.
There you go.
Yeah, you did that.
You did that for sure.
But if Bettis played for another team, 4 and 5 get tricky for me because I think Jim Brown should be on there.
Okay.
Right. I think he probably should be a lock at 4. I'm just when.
Did he play 9 seasons?
No, just hold up.
Played 10 and had a record that's lasted forever.
No, but hold on.
Yeah.
But when I think about what I saw when I watched Bo Jackson run the ball, right? I'm just saying we're talking about the greatest. You know what I'm saying? He may have only been the greatest for however many years, but when I remember that, right, it brings back something. So I'm probably gonna have to go Brown as my 4th, but
Bo Jackson.
But man, there's some talent out there, and that's why talent's gonna win number 5 for me. So I love Eric Dickerson, right? I love some of what we see in the game today. There's not a top 5 argument to make, but there's a greatness argument to make about Tony Dorsett. And I'm a big fan of Marshall Faulk, right? Like the 2000s weren't the 2000s without Marshall Faulk, right? As part of the offense. He almost invented, we talk about revolutionizing a position, the pass catching back.
I was going to say maybe the greatest all-purpose back ever.
Right.
Maybe.
With those offenses,
maybe.
right, that made those teams so successful.
Yeah.
You know, the Christian McCaffreys aren't who they are today without the Marshall Faulks, right?
They don't even get a job without Marshall Faulk.
Let's be clear about that. That being
No,
said,
that's real.
That being said, my number 5 is AP. Again, I saw him play, and there was nothing more dominant for longer, right? Like Le'Veon Bell was flashy, but AP year in, year out, all facets of the game. For me, that's my number 5.
That's a damn good pick.
And
what school is he from?
Texas? Is it Texas?
TCU.
A&M? I can't remember which one it was.
We got him in the league, boy.
So to wrap it all up, I am going to go in no particular order.
Yeah.
Peyton, Smith, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, and Adrian Peterson. But
I'll say this: if I had a 5A, it'd probably be Adrian Peterson, because I was really trying to find a modern back that I loved, and I was trying to keep it pure running back.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it pure running back.
And number five.
Yeah. So God damn, that's a good thing.
I did it.
I'll still give it to Dickerson because I think he's Adrian Peterson's blueprint. I think he's his blueprint. But boy, that's a hell of a 5, Jesse. I mean, that is a fantastic 5.
And I mean, you can throw and listen. If I put Bo in there for almost any of them, I don't know that I can't defend it, right? Like if you had one team, one running back at their prime, and you had the first pick, okay? So you're picking running back, you got first pick, and you get to pick any running back ever at their prime.
And this is prior to knowing what they're going to do.
No, you're going into next year. Well, yeah, you don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Prior to knowing what they're going to do.
Right.
It'd be hard not to pick Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson would be up on a lot of people's list for 1 year.
That might be. We need to do a top 5, and maybe we'll do this next week. A top 5. I don't know how you phrase it, but the top 5 should have been the greatest of all time.
A top 5 Tracy McGrady list.
Yeah, like they should have been one of the greatest of all time, maybe the greatest of all time. And I'm not 100% Bo Jackson doesn't top that list. But no, that's funny. Bo Jackson was so
Sebastian Telfair.
Lynn Bias.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
talk about not knowing what he could.
Kareem Lattimore.
But those are my top 5.
That's a good 5, right, Jesse? That's good.
I think Dickerson's right there.
Yeah.
But like to ignore a player like Bo, you know what I mean? It's just
shout out to Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player. All right, Cam, what you doing, man?
Well, my list is gonna get a little tricky.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with a Akeem Olajuwon.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You know, the Lord can't bless the type of stuff you're doing right now.
I got the same. Listen, everybody, this come down to number 5.
Oh, for sure.
Basically.
All right. So with number 5, I was looking for a little bit of finesse. I was looking for a little bit of flash, a little bit of physique.
Oh, that sounds like AP.
Try to steal your flair, man. Don't let him do it.
We got him in the league. So I had to go with a little razzle dazzle here, guys.
Okay.
No championships. I went with LT.
I'll be honest with you. I struggled with LT because LT is another one of those blueprint backs.
Yeah.
Like LT ushered in the small back. Like there really were no prototypical small backs like that. And then all of a sudden this guy comes in and everybody's like, oh, you got to get a small back. Yeah. There's no Shady. There's no
Le'Veon. Le'Veon.
There's no Le'Veon. You don't get any of them without LT.
Yeah, he's cold. He's cold.
Yeah. So I struggle with LT. I won't lie to you. That's a good one. That's a good
I put in that scenario that we talked about. If we're talking about, I'm going to take this player at their absolute prime, right? And I need them to play for me tomorrow, right? And let's say that means next year. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Bo over.
If we say prime, that's going to probably change a lot of our list, though.
Yeah, prime is different. Is a different statement.
But I may put Terrell Davis in there. We talking about prime.
Because to me, the greatest running back of all time is Barry Sanders, because he had nothing.
Exactly.
He had nothing the entire time of his career, and the stuff that dude did.
Emmett.
If he had the Cowboys line that Emmett had.
Oh my God!
Don't do that.
He had 30,000 yards. He'd have 30,000 yards.
Cam, you can't argue that. First team to average over 300 pounds on the offensive line.
Like my boy Ron C had this argument the other day. He said Emmett didn't have no first round picks on that line. Second
One of
round,
the- one of
third
the greatest-
round.
It don't
one of the
matter.
greatest
It don't matter.
I'm just saying, so we can't talk about the
NFL
line.
history.
It don't matter draft status. It matters what they do.
It does matter the draft status too. You got to keep that. You got to keep that part too.
Cam, let's be real.
Come on now.
Emmitt Smith ran behind parking lot size holes
Call it what you want.
the entire time
Emmett-
of his career.
Emmett had to have vision just like everybody else.
He
Emmett
did.
coming to that line, looking at the linebacker, looking
Larry
at
Allen.
Listen,
Bitch,
I
that's
take
1,000
nothing.
pounds.
Yeah, I take nothing away from
What I
Emmett.
won't do,
He made
what I won't do is sit on this show and argue with Chad about the Cowboys.
No, but I'll tell you this
Whatever you
right
say.
now. You can argue with me then. So you can
Whatever
argue
you
with me then. You put Barry Sanders behind that Cowboys offensive line.
If coulda, shoulda, woulda, there's a lot of things different.
Gary Primus,
But we're
man.
talking about a different story.
He'll be
Yeah.
the all-time leader.
Okay, so if Jordan wouldn't have retired, Olajuwon might not have had those rings, or wouldn't have had them, or what? I don't know. You tell me.
Listen, Emmett's on the list. He made the 5.
Ron C, I need you to dial into the show right now and talk your noise about Emmett and Barry.
Barry is a God. My God, it's insane what that man did with little or nothing.
All right, what's
All right.
number 4?
Huh?
What's number 4?
Well, number 4 is a different kind of vibe. So
We need to skip 4. 4 was weird.
no, it wasn't. It's just comparisons. You know, they got the verses going.
No, we need like a week to prepare for number 4. We need like a month to prepare.
Yeah,
for
I don't know nothing about the verses and all that stuff. I don't
Well,
watch
verses-
if it ain't sports, I don't watch this.
Yes, don't get caught up in that. The verses.
I want to
is
see
two
Serena
people-
swim against Michael Phelps in the pool.
Versus is just two things against each other. That's all it is. So who you picking in Jordan versus Kobe? That's what we do.
Oh, this is a section, and the rest of them go to that. Oh, okay.
It's
I didn't
Jordan
know that.
versus
I
Kobe.
didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense then. I'm sorry.
I know it does. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, then the attachment should have been in some chronological
Let's
order.
move on, people. Please answer the question. Now you don't make me cuss.
Won't you
Jordan
start with
versus
it?
Kobe.
Why don't you start?
I'll start.
What? No, what's
Y'all
the
not
first
gonna like
one?
my answer though.
What's the
I
first
might
one?
like it.
Jordan versus Kobe.
Kobe.
Hell, I might like it.
It's Kobe for me.
Kobe.
It's Kobe for me.
There's 2. Who else?
We talking.
I'm going with the Black Mamba. You need to go with the Laker too. Stop being biased.
No, versus who you want on your team, Chad.
Dang.
You have never had a download, a 2.0 download that wasn't better than the first one.
I'll tell you, the only reason you might be able to justify the only reason I could be convinced not to take Kobe, and I just love Kobe. Sorry, Celtics fans. I'm the biggest Kobe fan in the freaking world. The only reason I could be convinced to take Jordan, and I'm not diminishing his greatness by anything.
Not at all. Not at
Right?
all. Right.
The only reason I could be convinced to take Jordan is his defense.
Whoa.
Nope,
Huh?
defense and length. I'm not saying grit and dog mentality. I'm just saying defense and length. I might take Jordan over Kobe. But
Kobe got more first team defense than Jordan.
oh, is that right? Kobe's got more defensive players of the year than Jordan.
No, he got that one. He got that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Kobe got more first team. Kobe got more first team defense, all defense than Jordan. First team.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with. Dang, I don't even like Jordan, but I'm gonna go with Jordan. I'm going with Jordan.
Always one.
Nothing, no, except no. I mean, RIP Kobe. You know, no. Just
Well, 75% of the world was right. So that we're
And Chad's like, it has no idea. It doesn't matter the motherfucker's dad. RIP. What I'm saying is
Jordan, LeBron.
LeBron.
It's gonna start to sound like Jordan hated at some point here in this show, but I'm looking at the realities. I
LeBron.
picked Kobe because I think Kobe, overall, top to bottom, became a better player. This is my opinion. You can argue and say Jordan 6-0 and give me all the other stuff. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But LeBron went to 3 different teams and led 3 different teams to the
No,
finals.
all you have to look is how many NBA finals was LeBron in over
That would be 9 in a row.
of years.
That'd be 9 in a row. 9.
Call it a day.
9.
The LeBron thing for me is a no-brainer, but the Jordan thing for me, I think until I was like 35, 36, and I'm just over 40 now. We won't confirm anything for all those internet hackers out there, but
yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
The thing for me was, after like 35, 36, I got a little more mature. I'd seen a little bit more, right? Not that I saw more from Kobe or more from Jordan or anything like that, right? Just saw a little bit more. This is like when we talk about Brady and Montana in a little bit, right? It's the same thing like Kobe versus Jordan for me. Like, yeah, Jordan went, 3 3-peats. Jordan went, to 6 and won 6. Like, I totally get it. And in maybe the toughest era of basketball to win a championship, right? Between the Olajuwons and the Magics and the Kareems and the Worthies, right? That was kind of the early 80s to the early 90s.
Yeah, but Jordan never faced those guys.
Mid 90s where Jordan won all 6, right? And so you're like, ooh, he pulled off a Bill Russell in a real era. You know what I mean? And the Celtics picked up 1 during that whole time, right? So, like, I'm.
So let me piggyback on or jump in where you are, because this is how I landed on LeBron. Did Jordan face? If Jordan was the best of his era, other than Magic, who else did Jordan face that was the absolute best of his era? Or considered to be the best of his era?
Those 80s Lakers teams, though, were probably the best of their era.
I
think the 80s Lakers teams were better than the 2000s Lakers teams.
Could any of them? Okay, so could the Spurs team that beat LeBron beat that Sonics team, that Jazz team, that Suns team? Could they have also beat that team?
No.
See, I disagree. I think they would.
And not the Jazz team. See, that's the one fault of like the Malone-Stockton pairing is that their competition was so great and they weren't going anywhere, right? They weren't going to change anything. And but I think if you take that team and put them in, 15 different years between 1990 and today, they could have won the championship.
I don't think that team could beat several of the modern teams that are playing now with that style of basketball. I just don't see how they would do it. Is Malone a matchup problem? Of course he is. At his prime, of course he is. But that team has no answer for LeBron. They have no answer for Dirk Nowitzki. They have no answer for Kevin Durant. They have no answer.
See, in that era, that was your Steve Nash Dirk combo, right? In that era, that was your best point guard, best power forward in the league. The way the game was played, right, at that point in time, you couldn't have drafted a better point guard. You couldn't have drafted a better power forward. Now, the rest of that team, when you start comparing them to all the other teams that won ships in that time, they fell short.
Right.
But those players were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the journey that that LeBron has had to endure to get his 4 championships far more difficult than the journey Jordan had to endure to get his 6.
We're still talking about Jordan and Kobe, though, right?
No, we're at Jordan LeBron.
Jordan LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, what order? Oh, I'm sorry. Jordan LeBron. That
right.
The ninth one. Okay. Yeah, it's LeBron.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's LeBron on this one.
Yeah. Cam, would you like to wrap this one up?
It's the one he's been waiting on.
No, I mean, Cam's going to say LeBron. The point is, though, Cam, answer this. It's not it's cut and dry, but it's not easy.
No,
right?
No,
it's not easy. Yeah,
and Jordan did things that LeBron never did, right? Like the three-peats and stuff like that, right? And there are probably a couple of cases in the Miami situation where Jordan had less. LeBron had more help than Jordan did. Right?
He needed it though.
I'm not saying he didn't need it. I'm just saying.
He's right.
But you still 3 teams, 9 years, right? Like it's just
we're never seeing that again.
LeBron.
How do you duplicate?
I'd like to tell you guys a little story.
Oh, I like story time.
Real quick. I'll make it real quick. I've always been a LeBron guy. Okay. This is even why Kobe's been playing. When the commercial came out, LeBron, Kobe, the puppets, and all that stuff, and all that. Just to tell you, I was a little nervous because I've always liked LeBron. Even though I'm a Laker fan, Kobe is my guy.
Yeah.
But LeBron has something different about him. I didn't say he was better. I didn't say he had the if factor, the lion. I ain't saying all that, but you knew LeBron.
You knew he was coming.
He's a chosen one.
So when even coming out of high school, I was following him. I like, man, this guy's gonna be good, right?
Oh yeah.
Even when he went to the NBA Finals his first year at the age of 25, maybe
something like that.
Played with a bunch of
No, he was younger than that, wasn't he?
His first year he was 18.
So he was 23.
He could have been more than 22, 23, right?
Right. So even with that, he had no business taking that team to the finals.
No business.
But we judge him off of that's one of the losses he got.
Yeah.
Okay. When he lost that final, he lost whatever. I remember being in Jesse's I went to Jesse's dad office. He was a lawyer at the time. And he loved LeBron. Like I remember when LeBron played, he sent me up there to Jesse with Boston and said, "You need to go watch LeBron play." He said, that guy right there, he's special. He lost. They got their butts kicked because they shouldn't be there. But he told me then, he said, that's going to be the type of guy that's going to get a championship with the Lakers, with the Knicks. He threw the Celtics in there. He said he's going to be the type of guy that does something different than nobody else ever done. He's going to go around and win championships with multiple teams and be MVPs with multiple teams and stuff like that. Listen, LeBron just does a different thing for me. It's no knock on Jordan, and I don't knock no other man's opinion other than when they start talking about Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. Because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, well, Havlicek was 8-0. I'm gonna start throwing some other stuff in there. Why did he only go to 6? What if he would have went to 7? Kobe went to 7. Magic went to 9. LeBron just does it for me, man. He does everything, and to have that guy that's going to be the all-time leading scorer in the NBA and top 5 in assists, it's done.
Different. He's different. Well said. Couldn't have said it better, man. What about Shaq versus Wilt? You hear that one?
This is so easy. I'll go first. This is so easy.
Okay.
Shaq all day. Most dominant player in NBA history. I'm going Shaq. And it's not Wilt's fault that he was born in an era where there was no big men.
Well, I was going to ask you, does Wilt's dominance, is it overplayed? Because if you're the tallest man in a midget contest or a little person contest, does that make you dominant or it just makes you fortunate?
Fortunate, definitely fortunate. Like Cam said, he was just born in the wrong era to test his greatness. But I mean, he is great, but Shaq is the most dominant person that's ever played in the NBA. So I have to agree with Cam on that.
I mean, it's Shaq for me. It wasn't even, with all due respect to Wilt, the 100 that we don't have film on, and it's Shaq for me. It's Shaq. By the way, Bill Russell owned him. Just FYI, I just thought I would share that with you. Who owned Shaq?
Olajuwon.
That and that only lasted for 1 year.
But he did him in though.
But he did him in now. Now he taught him a valuable lesson. He definitely taught him a valuable lesson.
Footwork.
Yeah, I think that fortunate. He's just in the right.
Can you put that back on there?
What he said? Sure.
Say, Lord, listen. No
Just
dude
say
respects anybody. It ain't but a few people I know that know more sports than me that I would be willing to admit that to. You need to get that guy on there. That guy know his stuff.
All right.
I'm just telling you. I'm throwing it out there.
We're going to baseball for a second. Jeter and A-Rod. Who was the better player? I like. First of all, shout out to the new documentary. It is outstanding.
Damn, who are you talking about?
Ron C.
Oh.
Who y'all going with, Jeter or A-Rod?
This is no brainer. You guys can answer me. No brainer.
Before we even we can move on to the next question. If I can say one thing,
Steroids.
no.
Go ahead. We're listening, Jesse.
A-Rod got signed by the Yankees. Jeter and A-Rod both play shortstop. Who moved positions?
It was A-Rod.
Okay.
Okay, Jeter it is, baby.
Yeah, I'm going with Jeter on this one, man. Even though
We're
I'm
done.
a fan of both of them guys.
We're done. Move on. Next question.
A-Rod didn't even get a consideration for you? He didn't even get a
Next question.
Now when you comparing them two, don't.
He was forced to go play third base. He was the greatest shortstop in the game, statistically. He was forced to go play a new position because they already had a
You
shortstop.
know what's funny about that, Jesse? I said when they signed A-Rod, my first reaction was, for what? You already got a great shortstop. You don't need. He's not better than first, because remember, we live in Texas. We got a chance to see
You were right,
his
Lloyd.
greatness the whole time.
No, you
and
were
his
right.
greatness was nothing.
You were right, Lloyd.
So anyway,
Why?
okay,
You were right.
that was an easy one. All right.
He played third
Best
base.
overall career. This is an interesting question. Big Papi or
not.
Barry Bonds?
It's not. There's only two lenses to look at this through. Only two.
Home runs?
No, you're all in everyday player, and 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. For me, Poppy's one of the greatest clutch hitters in the history of the game. And if there's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, there's only 2 or 3 players I want stepping up to that plate. And I might pick Poppy over all of them through a little bit of bias. And he's got great stats, don't get me wrong. And he's an unbelievable folklore hero, right? And he was part of a team that hadn't won a championship in 80-something years and brought it back to Boston and then repeated. So, but his skill, his lore, his fame, his reputation, it's being that clutch guy, guy that can hit when you need him to hit, do what you need him to do over and 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 over again, right? So much to the point that it's an expectation, not a luxury.
But I think what makes the question interesting is that a lot of people would say it's not close. Barry Bonds was the quote unquote greater player and the stats and the blah, 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 blah. But man, if you're a baseball purist, or even if you're not, even if you're just a casual fan, and you said, man, which career would I rather have? Which one would I rather look back and say, my God, that was my career and I did some amazing things? I'm not sure it's even close. That is Big Papi. Like you said, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 86-year drought, done. We're Boston strong.
Mike Trout doesn't have any of that. You're going to tell me he's not the best player in baseball?
He doesn't. But history. But that's not really the point. History.
No, that is exactly the point. Barry Bonds was a better baseball player than David Ortiz. He could play the field. First of all,
listen. That is your point. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making, because that's not even the question. Who's the better player? The question was, who's had the better career?
No, the who's the greatest? That's the better
That's
player.
not the question. The question says better overall career.
Oh, I needed to read the fucking slides. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Just read the question. It's
All
not
right,
close.
better,
To
better
me,
overall career, Barry Bonds.
no, it's not. I would
No,
just
hands down, stats and
Barry
all.
Bonds had the best overall career because Barry Bonds was just a victim of perception. Because during that era, a lot of people was juicing, a lot of people got caught, a lot of people didn't get caught.
Chad, stop.
No.
Chad, stop. Have you ever seen Jerry Maguire?
Well, yeah, that's one of my favorite
Chad,
movies.
Chad, you had me at hello. You don't have to justify it. Barry
Yeah,
Bonds
so-
had the better career. End your sentence. Period.
Die.
It's not debatable.
it's very debatable.
Oh,
The
stop.
better career was Big Papi's. There's not a person on this screen that wouldn't want to have Big Papi's career. The legendary, historical, iconic moments that Big Papi has had in his
Moments,
career.
not career. Moments.
That's
Barry
his
Bonds had
career.
moments
That's
too.
his
Barry
career.
Bonds-
Those moments made up his career. What are you talking about?
Barry Bonds had moments too as well.
Hey, if I'm
I'd
a
like to hear this.
firefighter, if I'm a
I'd like to hear those
firefighter,
moments.
He's an
just have to
all-time home
shit.
run leader. What do you mean?
I drink
Okay,
too
that's
much.
one.
Okay, the only thing he doesn't have that Big Papi has had is a championship.
No, the only thing he doesn't have is those moments. Big Papi has, like Jesse just laid out very eloquently all of the iconic moments that Big Papi has in his career.
Hey,
He's
they had the same steroids doctor too, by the way.
don't do that. Don't why are we
I'm
why are
just
we
saying.
doing that? Why are we doing that? It is not proven that Big Papi had steroids.
It's not proven that either.
He was just
It's not proven
because
either,
of
right.
his perception. Barry
I'm
Bonds
not
was
saying
very
Big
liked.
Papi was better. We're not talking about better. We're talking about who had the overall better career.
Hey, first of
Go
all,
ahead, shit.
Ron C, we disagree about a lot of things. I'll still take Williams over Ayton, but I'm telling you right now,
What is that?
Cam just pumped him up. It's not a question here.
It's Big Papi for me. Cam, who you going with?
That's why you a Giants fan, Lloyd.
I know. And that's why we own Boston.
You love
Ass.
that. You love that misery and
You're asking
suffering.
me to-
You
you're
just
That's
asking
why
gotta
we own
have
Boston.
it.
Ass. Let's move
I
on.
want it in my
Cam,
life.
Cam, what
You're
you
asking
doing?
me
It feels so
you're asking me
good.
You're asking me to pick my favorite baseball player over the all-time home run leader.
I'm asking your opinion.
Oh, nobody said anything about home runs, Cam. Slow down before you open up a door for the defense.
Give me Big Papi. This is our fucking city.
That biased motherfucker. All right. Next question.
Boy, some people can't handle the truth.
I'm wearing the fucking Boston hat.
Yet you still pick Barry Bonds. Let's move on. All
Absolutely.
right,
Because I'm not fucking an
let's
idiot.
move on. Best running back of all time. I think we kind of already covered this. I don't know.
Barry Sanders.
Oh, my God.
Under that Cowboy offensive line.
No, but like, what do you say? Like, when you say best running back of all time, are you talking like stats, champs, da da da? Or are you talking about most talent?
You pick. It's your
Okay.
question.
For me,
it's your
best
standard.
means most talented.
Okay, it's your
That
standard.
means the best. If I went out and performed Beethoven's Fifth on the piano,
I want the
better
best
than
piano player to
fucking
play.
Beethoven ever could have imagined it would have been played, then I'm the best player of all time, right? I may never perform it again. I may win a chess championship against Russian, masters when I'm 9 years old, and I may never play chess again. That doesn't make me not the best chess player of all time. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the best running back of all time, what my eyes have seen, Barry Sanders.
Agreed.
Arguments.
Agreed.
But boy, Walter Payton was good. My God, he was good.
I'm not that old, Lloyd, so I appreciate
I am.
it.
That's what I'm saying. I am, and I'm telling you, Walter Payton was.
See what you got. Okay. All right, we done.
Yeah.
All right. We 3 for 4.
Emmett it is all day. Give me Emmett.
Majority.
Y'all already know how I feel about that.
Emmett?
You already know how I feel about that, man. I got Emmett all day.
Emmitt Smith. See, and I'm a Cowboy fan. Not even
I'm
pick.
not even sure Emmett would pick Emmett.
No, hey, that's fine. Because in the draft, what would happen is I'd be number 2, right?
You can
Or
get Barry Sanders.
number 1. Cam would be number 2. And I would trade my pick to Cam, right? And I'd pick up like the 12th pick. And then Cam would pick Emmett. I'd get Barry and the 12th pick. So I'm perfectly comfortable with Cam's opinion.
Only in the numbers, Ronnie C. Only in the numbers. Everybody that knows.
So numbers and rings, or just numbers, or what?
Emmett wouldn't pick himself.
You don't know what Emmett would do. Emmett would quit on his team.
Oh, hello, Google.
Wow. Did you say he quit on his team?
I said it. I said it. Yeah. I said it.
We haven't had a drop on this show in a long time.
And if I was Emmett and I played
This
for
feels
Detroit,
like an
no,
appropriate
hold on, Lord. Before you, if I was Emmett, if I was Barry and I played for Detroit, guess what? I'd have quit too.
Running behind that line, yeah. Running behind that line, it made it frustrating.
Running for your life every day.
Barry wanted out and they wouldn't trade him. He said, I'll quit then.
When you have this conversation, these are the two names that come up above all, although some indicate Aaron Rodgers as a talent, but I don't know why.
Not only do I need to answer to this, I need to know why.
Okay, that's fair. I would say something.
Hold on, Lloyd, we got 2 minutes of the show. Can I steal 2 minutes?
Dude, Jesse shouldn't even be able to answer this question, dude. His kids, hey, Lloyd, I told his kids the other day, I said something about the Patriots, and then I said Tom Brady sucked. It got quiet in the room.
Yeah.
They say, Uncle Cam, you're a ding dong. All because I said so bad about Tom Brady, man. He got his kids brainwashed. These kids, they ain't even 9 years old, man. Like, Tom Brady ain't the best thing to happen to football, guys. I just want you to know that.
Hey, all I gotta say is we got him in the league. Tom
Hold on,
Brady.
Lloyd, can I get 2 minutes?
Here we go.
I haven't watched this, so I don't know what he says. Let's see what he says.
Let's see what he said.
The best is a personal choice. You're going to always have difference of opinion. And some folks will say I am, some will say I'm not, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, my stats are what they are. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm the best. It means that I endured longer than anyone else. That's for sure. But, I just say to folks, don't worry about who's the best. Appreciate the talent that you see. And let that speak for itself. Quit comparing folks.
Barry Sanders.
That person. Because
if
everybody had the same style, same running, same team.
Is it in an interrogation room?
I was going to say that, Lloyd. You can't even see his hands. Look at the backdrop. They're making him say that.
Yeah, we can't do the whole thing, but
I said 2 minutes.
Shout out to Emmitt Smith's shirt.
And everybody ran behind the same line. Then you can really say who's the best. If one guy did not do what the other guy did, that's not the case. That's not the case. That's what makes all of us different. That's what makes sports so great. You have different personalities doing things differently. Jim Brown, at the time, during his time, he was considered the best. He was one of the biggest on the football field. No one's talking about he took advantage of a 175-pound guy, did no one's talking about that, but he was one of the biggest at the time and considered one of the best. And here I am, one of the smallest, playing against some of the biggest guys ever. And yet, so I just say appreciate the talent. Don't worry about who's the best.
Why is he being recorded?
It's a deposition.
I think because he stole the all-time greatest title.
Can we finish?
And that's why he's in this room, you know.
And we got like 45 more seconds of the greatest talking about who the greatest is. Let's see what he has to say.
Are you doing the interview, Jesse?
I don't know what Jesse's doing at this point.
Start comparing folks.
Where do you think I got the video from, Cam?
At the end of the day, the only thing I can sit back and say, hey, since you want to go to comparison, go look at the stats. That's all I can say is go look at the stats. And if that says I'm the best, then that's what it says. But in my mind, I don't think I'm the best. Because I think when you look at Barry Sanders and even Walter Payton himself, there are a lot of people out there that
Hold on. What were the first two words out of his mouth?
Jesse, right?
I can point to and say, man, they were
He's not even looking. He's being interrogated.
Barry Dickerson, 22-7.
He's sweating.
Curtis Martin.
His earring is fake.
I mean,
Bruh.
He's a black man in Texas, and you know he just came from a Burger King with Michael Irvin. So you need to stop everything you think you're saying. And Cam knows what I'm talking about more.
The earring is mighty big, though.
Jesse, when you get a chance, just go ahead and forward that to me in the email or whatever format you feel is necessary.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just need to be able to play it for all Cowboy fans.
Why?
So they can stop.
Listen, he's being honorable. He's supposed to say that.
Is he being honorable or is he being honest? It felt more like honesty than honorableness.
Let's go find the clip of Kobe talking about who the best two. Then if that's the case.
Oh, Kobe's not gonna do that. Kobe ain't. What Kobe's not gonna do is that. He's not gonna do that. All right, let's go because we only got a few minutes. Joe Montana, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. We got him in the league, Cam.
Tom Brady.
It's hard not to, man.
Are we talking about body of work? Are we talking about
it's your qualification? You qualified however you want.
Tom Brady.
It's hard not to. The Tampa thing sealed it for me. I mean,
that
you know, because the argument, because y'all know the argument was, oh, he's the best system quarterback, but he ain't never won outside the Patriots. Well, that's the end of that. All right, greatest athlete of all time.
I don't like the list.
You don't like the list. Tell me why.
Because somebody narrowed the list down to say that's who it is.
Okay, we'll go other. Okay, you can add another. You can do it right in if you like.
Other.
Okay, I got two others, and now one of these people are one on my list, one or two.
We're listening. Go ahead.
Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. I'll wait.
Oh man,
Deion Sanders makes a compelling case. Deion Sanders makes a very compelling case.
Bo Jackson makes a better compelling case than Deion Sanders.
Whoa.
I don't know about a better. I think he makes it as good comparison.
Nah,
better might be a little stretch.
Deion Sanders might be the best athlete we've seen on the planet.
Exactly.
I think here's what we need to define. Athlete. Define athlete. Greatest at their sport, greatest at endurance, greatest at strength, greatest at skill, greatest competitor. What are we talking about with the athlete? What does that mean?
How you want. And let me just say this: the reason why Serena made the list is because she's supposed to.
The greatest athlete in the world is Dikembe Mutombo. You go be 7'7" and do what he did and tell me you're not the greatest athlete in the world.
What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, that risk is hitting hard tonight.
You said define it as I want to.
You can define it as you want to. Somebody makes a nice case too.
Michael Phelps is my pick.
Michael Phelps.
What about Lance Armstrong?
Hold on, no. I need to jump in. It's the same reason I'm not talking about Barry Bonds.
You can't be that high and be the
Well, you can't talk about Michael Phelps.
Steroids?
I never heard steroids.
Olympic testing? No.
You think it's Michael who's steroiding up?
No. So let me try to qualify this for 2 seconds.
Let me find my clip.
So the first is Lloyd very eloquently said it earlier on the show. How you have to qualify the impact to the game that those players played as part of their greatness, right? You guys want to talk about Tiger? For like half a second? No, I'm not. Just say Tiger's not on the list when he redefined a sport. When we haven't talked about tennis and Serena's on there, Serena's great. What's going on with Roger and Novak and Rafa today on the men's side, that story's not yet written. And
yeah, but we've seen it before.
No, we haven't seen it before. Sampras was 14. These guys are up in the 20s, and they're competing against each other every single major to be the next one that takes the lead. So there's some. You're talking about maybe the 3 greatest men's tennis players of all time competing against each other in the same era, and all being within one major championship of each other, and 50% more major championships than the people that came before them. You want to talk about being the greatest? I'm not sure it's defined yet. Gretzky set records that weren't broken for almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
So are we talking about greatest skill? Are we talking about greatest athlete? I mean, Jackson, Sanders, I mean, you're talking about greatest athletes of all time. Again,
I think longevity, for me, longevity has to play a part in it.
Longevity, depending on your sport and how your sport defines greatness.
I agree, but I'm just adding it in. I'm adding it in. I've got
2 picks, Lloyd, that go against what you just said, because longevity has to be variable, right? It can't be what you did for me in 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Michael Phelps, Ron said Michael Phelps, but he is defined by what? Olympics. And for me, the second one is Usain Bolt.
But I don't think that goes against what I said, because
dominant athletes of all time were
defined. Hold on. It doesn't go against what I said, because they dominated over several Olympics. They didn't just dominate in one Olympics. They dominated over several. So that goes with the longevity. But I'm also looking at Serena, and I'm saying the reason why Serena made the list is because Serena started doing what she's doing at age 14.
You gotta have a strong black woman on there.
And you gotta have a strong black woman, right? Right. But I think, when you start that young and you're just now getting to the backside where now you're starting to come back to the pack, that's pretty impressive. So she made the list, but you're right. Tiger should have been on the list. Tiger should have been on the list for sure. Yeah. But I also looked at, I guess the reason why we also went with those names, because you also look at those names and say, those are one of the missing components to greatest of all athlete of all time to me is that this person shifted all of culture. Like they are the standard bearer for culture. And Muhammad Ali is that standard. Whether I think Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball of all time or not, he's shifted culture. Kids are buying Jordans and they've never seen Jordan play a game.
Thanks.
I mean, it's so when you look at it from the shifting of all culture, of the world's culture, the list gets shorter. Now I do agree Tiger should have made that list for sure.
Who made that list?
We just threw some names up there, man. Let's not get into that.
I'm asking, who's we?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, yes, to me.
Why does it matter?
So now I got to answer my question. I'm asking who.
I made the list.
It's not a bad thing, Lloyd. I just asked who made the list. That's it.
Ali, Jordan, Brady, Williams.
I made the list.
Chad make this list.
No, Chad had nothing to do with it.
I was coding it out.
Does it matter?
Yes, it does to me. Yes.
Okay, why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Because whoever made the list, those people was very infamous for whoever made the list. Those people was what they. So I'm asking who made the list. That's all I'm asking.
I'll take the blame for the list.
I'm not asking you to take the blame. I just
I am
asked you
taking the
to
blame. I made the list.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure why it mattered. You still haven't answered the question.
I answered the question. I started off by answering the question.
What did you say?
Deion Primetime Sanders
Is your greatest athlete of all time?
Deion Primetime Sanders is my greatest athlete of all time, and over 75% of the rest of the world is going to agree with that.
No, they will not.
I don't think so.
Google right now and tell me. You Google and tell me who comes up.
I did. Deion's on the list.
But I will say this though, Cam. If Deion, now this is a weird way to agree with you. This is a weird way to agree with you. If Deion keeps doing what he's doing at Jackson State, he will be. Because the only reason why he's able to do what he's doing at Jackson State is because of what he did as an athlete.
Thanks. Yeah.
So I'm not saying you're way off. I'm just saying today I'm not sure that's the truth.
And if you really just knew golf, the stuff that Tiger has done in his early career,
insane.
You don't do that.
You don't do that. You
don't even go to the driving range to try to do some of the things he's done. Like, it's done. It's done. Chad know that.
Totally dropped the ball on not having Tiger on that list for sure. I'll admit that.
But like Tim,
never mind.
You know what?
It's definitely
we'll let you put the show together, see how it works out. Greatest wide receiver of all time.
Terrell Owens.
Stop it. Move on. So what, Chad?
It's my personal opinion.
Your personal opinion is fucking wrong.
Terrell Owens.
Are you saying that with a straight face? Like you being serious?
No, shut up. Boy, you said fucking Kareem wasn't in the top 5.
And I'm way righter than Terrell Owens.
Both fucking wrong.
Let's be very clear.
I'm way right. No,
I'm way righter than Terrell Owens.
Get in the car with Lloyd.
Stop. It starts with one word and it ends with one word.
Terrell Owens is
move on. And his name is Jerry fucking Rice.
It's personal preference. Jerry's up there, but that's not my.
I don't know if it's Jerry or Randy.
I said it's Randy Moss was.
It's Jerry or Randy for me.
Chad, my personal preference may be to be driven instead of to drive myself. That doesn't make me right.
That's your preference. That doesn't make me wrong. That's my personal preference.
Absolutely makes you wrong.
No, that's your opinion.
I don't know about the Terrell Owens thing. But I mean, Randy,
he's up there in top 3 in wide receiver categories, TDs, yards. I mean,
so where's Jerry Rice in that category? In that same category, where's Jerry?
He leads all of them.
He's up there. But the question was,
hey, Jesse got that head down on the computer. It's over.
But the question was greatest wide receiver of all time. Everybody got their opinion. That's my opinion.
All right. I think we may have to say the last question. Unless y'all can do it quickly.
I'm good.
Can we do it quickly?
I'm good. I'm game.
All right.
Jerry Rice.
Because it's in honor. Well, yeah, I Jerry Rice, but by a hair. Just because he got the rings.
Yeah, Jerry didn't Randy Moss for me.
Jerry over who?
Yeah.
Randy
Moss.
Yeah.
By Randy?
To me, Randy is a purer wide receiver talent than Jerry.
That's fine. I'll accept there's competition there. It's not a question about who's better, but okay.
Yeah, it's almost sacrilegious to say.
Hey, at least you didn't say Terrell Owens.
I didn't. All right, we final question because we got to wrap up. Top 5 wrestlers because this is SummerSlam weekend. Top 5 wrestlers of all time, just for fun.
I didn't even know that was on there. But give me the Rock.
We can do that. We'll do that one collectively then.
I got it.
So everybody give they number 1 or what?
How we want to do it? We'll just say
I got my 5 right now. I got HBK, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, The Rock, and Ultimate Warrior.
You don't have Flair in there? Nowhere?
I was teetering, but I mean he's probably on 6, but yeah.
And it's like you got to put Roman in there now. You don't want to put Roman in there with the legends, but you got.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I struggle with Roman because what he has done. Let me tell you why Roman.
He saved WWE right now. Is what he's done.
He's saying it, and guess what? I don't know if anybody other than Cena has had a harder journey. Because what Roman has done, because they tried to force Roman on everybody, and it did not work.
And he was sick.
And he was sick. And now they can't survive. This company will not survive without Roman.
Yeah.
So
that's a tough one. We need to hit that next week because I know how important the Von Erichs were to wrestling. Like it's just it's tough, man. That's tough.
Let's stay down for next week. Let's say
no. That's like putting Giannis in your top 5 today. It's not time yet.
With Roman?
Yeah. It's not time yet.
Maybe I can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that statement.
I am because The Rock never had to save wrestling.
He never had.
I'm not putting The Rock in my top 5.
Oh, we don't need to be talking. Hey, I'm not even on the list.
We definitely saving this for next week. I want to hear that next week for sure. Who we shouting out real quick because we got to roll.
I'll put you my top 5 right now. Stone Cold. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, The Undertaker.
I forgot about The Undertaker.
Randy Macho Man Savage.
Hey, Jesse, you don't have one color guy in your wrestling top 5. And I'm wondering why.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. I didn't have one colored guy in my fucking top 5 until 1999 when it came to golf.
That's because y'all wouldn't let us play.
True.
Let us through those country club doors. We might have a different conversation.
Shout outs.
And now we go to shout out.
Rice.
Right. And now
He's a member of Augusta.
And now we go to shout out.
Oh man, y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy.
Let us in the door. I'm just saying. You might see a different result. I
don't know what's wrong with my best friend, man.
When you get good enough to break it down, there ain't nothing.
We did break it down. Eventually did break it down. What we doing? Shout outs, guys. What we doing?
Man, I just got one shout out. A couple shout outs. Shout out to you guys, man. Again, another good show. Also, shout out to my wife, man. She took care of me and my boy while we, had that COVID, so she held it down.
Man.
Yes, shout out to her.
Cam, what you doing? Who you shouting out? How is nephew doing? That's what we want to know.
I know I'm gonna call him today. Today was his first day.
We actually should have led with that, but we don't know. So next week we'll have a report. Okay, good.
I'll make sure he get on next week.
All right.
Shout out to nephew.
Yeah, man.
Listen, go make the team now.
Go make the
53-man roster.
That's it.
I will give a shout out, even though it's not done yet, but at least they're talking and proceeding in the Brittany Griner deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's huge. So.
Matter of fact, while we were on the air, the update is that the trial will probably wrap up next Friday for sure with a verdict, but they make their final whatevers this week coming up. And then the fact that the president offered the guy up today, that might be it.
That may be it.
That might be it. Because I think that's what they were looking for anyway. So
from the jump.
Yeah, from the jump, exactly.
Now we can get them back.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, Jesse, who you shouting out?
Who you shouting out?
I just asked you who you shouting out. I don't know.
I just asked you who you were shouting out.
I want to do while y'all wait. I do another shout out. I want to shout out to a guy like. I definitely want to shout out to Hakeem Olajuwon for somebody to think.
Why are you hating on Hakeem Olajuwon? What has he done to you? You not like Africans? Is that what's going on?
Oh man,
he wasn't a Laker, Lord.
That's true. He wasn't a Laker. You're right. But I guess if you can wear a Celtics jersey, I can pick the opposite.
If you can wear a Giant jersey, we can do whatever the hell we want to do.
Listen, the Giants, that ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. Shout out to the Giants for a great first day.
Have we heard of any injuries today? Anything happened? I know. I thought one person. I can't remember who it was. But have we heard anything yet?
Not yet.
The workouts are so different now. I hope not. Oh,
yeah, they're not even really in pads yet. They just kind of got them funky helmets on, and they're just trying to get through the. Jesse, come on, man. We run out of time.
Bubba Watson.
For
going after that money.
He left too?
Bubba left?
Oh, God. What?
Are you being serious? Are you being serious right now?
It's coming.
Wow. I guess if that's the case, we basically say shout out to Charles Barkley because that ground is looking shaky too.
When has Charles not ever been about the money?
Wait. Whoa. What did I miss?
Charles is contemplating.
No, Charles
leaving.
is under agreement. He's going to announce Live Golf. He's going to be one of the golf announcers. He's
about leaving inside. Well, but he hasn't said he's leaving inside the NBA yet because that's that part.
No, but he's joining. Him and Faraday are going to do the broadcast for the Live Golf Tour.
That might not be bad.
I don't think inside the NBA is going to get in the mix of that. I think they're going to be like, whatever.
That might not be bad.
David Faraday and Charles Barkley.
That's
exactly what they're going for.
That's a great combination.
Right. That may not
That's
be bad.
exactly what they're going for.
And they're talking about paying him an insane amount of money.
Oh yeah, he's going.
Bubba is leaving. Wow. That is a stunner.
You'll hear about it next week.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, on that breaking news, we will take our leave. That was we've left you with your mouth open, so I guess we've done our job tonight. Man, you got me with that one.
Can you guys stay on for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a minute. Yeah.
We got finished?
Got a minute, yeah. All right. With that being said, because I guess it looks like we got a quick meeting. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. 5. We out.
Peace.
Will get you 10 when you're plugging in with the there's no mystery. Let's make history with the oh, the song is 2 and 3. Add 1 more plus me and do the 5. Yeah. Keep it on the floor, and the funk plus 4, and you got 5. I said,